Three words: lead, communicate, network. Again, lead, communicate, network. Now, one thing we all have in common is struggle, and I know people here and there, you struggle, I struggle, the government struggles, but the point of this is to not give up and keep going. I do a lot of stuff, business, school, work, whatever. And yesterday, I was sharing this idea of a sci-fi thriller film that I'm working on. And the friend of mine, he was like, how do you get all the time to do these things? And I told him, I asked him, I said, how old are you? He said, he's like 27 years old. And I was like, if you are going to live for roughly 8 years, that is, you've lived 27 years already, and you pretty much have 53 more years to live, which means he has lived about 1/3 of his life already. Now, if you've lived about 1/3 of your life already and you still don't know what you want to do in life, it's okay, but you better start figuring it out. Now, the whole point of this video is to get you to that point where enough is enough, where you stop taking BS from people or from government, and you flip something flips in your mind, and it makes you just want to start getting things done. Okay, so remember those three words I mentioned: lead, communicate, and network. And I will be saying this in so many of my videos until it burns in your mind, the things that you have to focus on. Now, we are going into a new year, 2021. 2020 has had its own fair share of whatever it is that it's done to you. You've had your own fair shares too, but you are going into a new year. And I want to prepare your minds towards winning. Now, for you to win, you have to be able to build your skill sets. And there's so many skill sets that you can build. You might want to become a business owner, or a graphic artist, or a filmmaker, or an app developer, or a game designer. But there's so many skill sets that you can build on. But there are three main skill sets that I want you guys to focus on, because if you build all those skill sets that I mentioned and you're lacking in those three skill sets, then you have a problem. And the problem is that you won't grow. You will keep staying at the bottom level. Now, there's a reason. If you look at the hierarchy in corporation, for example, there's the hierarchies. This is a corporation, and if you go to the top, you have the CEO, right? And at the bottom, you have all the workers. Now, at the bottom, this is where all the people with all the skills are, at the lower bottom. And there's so many of them, because it's so many people that does that. But when you get to the top, there's only one CEO, or one president, or one director, because you have to keep working and improving on yourself in order to keep going up. And the truth is, not everyone is willing to do the work, because for you to get to this top level requires one thing, and that's work. So, like I said, you can develop every other skill set, but those skill sets will put you down here. But the moment you have it in mind that you want to start going up, you need to improve in those three main skill sets that I have here, which is leadership, communication, and networking. Those three skills can get you anywhere you want to get to in life. Okay? Now, when I say leadership, if you look at the arrow is transferring this way: leadership, communication, and network, and back to leadership. The first level of this is personal leadership, how you lead yourself to get things done. Now, the moment you can drive yourself to do things, most especially when you don't feel like doing it, then you have personal leadership. Now you could get things done at will, regardless of every other variable, regardless of any factor, regardless of if it's raining or snowing or there's fire, you still get things done. Now, the moment you get there, you have to be able to transfer that ability and communicate it with people so that you can get people to understand your vision, the vision that you have to get things done. Now, the moment you can share it the right way and people buy into it, you want to start expanding. And that is why you have networking. Now, that's the very first level. And it keeps going on and on. So if you start with personal leadership, that is you. And then you communicate with one more person, 2 of you. You network with another person, 3 of you. Now you have 3 of you that you're working together. And then you go back again to L, leadership. It becomes 3 of you. You communicate with 3 more people. That's 9 of you. And then 3 more people. And that's 27. And that is how corporations keep expanding at a geometric rate. Now, if you want to, and I don't know what your goals are, but you better start figuring that out. Because if you don't have a goal, you will spend 2021 way worse than the way you spent 2020. So you better start getting things figured out. And if you need help with that, you can reach out to me via my social media or email, and we'll talk about it. You can schedule a phone call with me and we'll talk about it. I can help you fashion things out. But going back to this, if you can get those 3 things right, those 3 skills, then you can channel them towards this one right here, this other skills. Maybe you're a writer or a graphic artist or a programmer or a data collector or tax preparer. You can channel everything and then you start expanding your corporation or your enterprise. And that is why for the next 2-3 months, I will make sure I keep mentioning this thing until you guys begin to start telling me, okay, now we've gotten this. Now, I know there's so many other videos out there that tell you about how to do this, how to get a girl, how to get a boy, how to become alpha male, whatever. I'm not going to be focusing on all those things because there's more than enough content on that. But one thing that I know that's lacking is leadership. Very lacking. And people, as you can see, we are in such a polarizing state where everyone is either an extremist or an extremist and there's no middle ground. The lack of middle ground means the lack of communication, whereby we don't have people who are centrist. People will think, okay, this faction might be right, or there's something good in this faction, or there's something good in this faction. So you have to move. Once you get this right, you move to the next one and you find out how to communicate your vision or your goal or whatever it is that you're working on to your people or to your staff or to your team members. And then you have that obligation to expand territory. And that is where networking comes in. Because the analogy behind networking is if you provide services for 50 people and they love your service, but all you do is just provide those services to those 50 people, and you keep doing that over and over in 5 years and 10 years, you would only have those 50 people until you decide to leave these people and go outside the box and talk to new people and network with new people. And the funny thing is, networking grows at a very geometric rate, because the moment you talk to one person, that one person and you becomes 2. Now, if the 2 of you go out and talk to more people, that becomes 4. And now if the 4 of you go out to more people, that becomes 8, and it keeps growing at a very geometric rate. So you get that right, and then you go back again to instilling leadership. Instilling leadership here means you are instilling your values, your principles, your core codes, your ethics in all those people that you've networked with, and you are instilling it in them until they become leaders within the enterprise and they start recruiting more people. And that is how a company that starts with just 2 people ends up having over 50,000 staff in a matter of years, because they understand these 3 words: the leadership, communication, and networking. And that is how they eventually win the game of the long run. If you like this video in any way, click the like button below. And if you want to, because you need to understand that when you're growing, you want to help other people along. So if you want your friends to grow as you are growing, as this channel is growing, and as I myself am growing, share this video and make sure they all share it as well. And let's all prepare ourselves and go into 2021 and win this game of 2021. Like I said, after watching this video, if you don't feel like enough is enough, then something is wrong somewhere.